If your phone gave you a button that could instantly silence anyone? Your rude coworker, your screaming neighbor, or that one person who never stops talking? Would you press it? No backlash, no punishment, just silence. Sweet, instant silence. Jason pressed it. And by the time he understood the cost, his world was already gone. Jason's life is made of noise. His alarm screeches at 5 a.m. Sirens echo outside his window. Multiple, layered, never-ending. He can hear the couple in the apartment below is having an argument, the shouting through the vents. By breakfast, he already feels the headache rising. At work, the world becomes unbearable. The fluorescent lights buzz sharp enough to cut. Keyboards clack like hail on metal. Phones ring nonstop, never giving the room a second of silence. Then the calls begin. Customer after customer blasting their anger directly into Jason's headset. Their voices so close to his ears they feel like needles. Behind him, a coworker pops gum relentlessly. Another taps a pen. Someone sniffs every 10 seconds. Someone else clears their throat over and over again. Jason's ribs tighten. His pulse climbs. The noise compresses around his skull until it feels like he might crack. Then his boss leans over his shoulder and barks.
Jason, you're falling behind. Get it together.
It's too loud. Way too loud. Jason jerks like he's been slapped. He makes it home with a migraine so sharp he wants to go straight to bed. He collapses in bed and, out of habit, scrolls his phone in the dark. That's when the pop-up ad appears. Clean, simple, almost gentle. Mute. Silence. What disturbs you? One tap. Temporary peace. What you don't hear? Can't hurt you? He scoffs. Another meditation gimmick. But then the neighbors slam doors again. A baby shrieks in the hallway. Someone revs up a motorcycle outside. Jason presses his palms to his ears, and something inside him snaps. He doesn't hesitate. He taps install to the mute app on his phone. A small decision. A desperate decision. A soon regretful decision. A decision he will never undo. The app opens instantly. No setup. No permissions. Just a single instruction. Point, tap, mute. Jason is confused. Mute what? Mute who? He shrugs it off, until his neighbor starts blasting music again, rattling the ceiling. Jason lifts the phone, points it upward. Tap. The bass stops mid-beat. The shouting stops. Everything stops. His neighbor's footsteps continue faintly above. But Jason no longer hears the music. He hears a chair scrape across the floor. But the sound of the music is completely gone. Jason feels relieved. He sits on his bed, the first real silence in months curling around him like warm air. He sleeps deeper than he has in years. The next day at work, a caller starts yelling. Jason taps the phone under his desk. Silence. A bragging coworker? Tap. His boss's drill sergeant voice? Tap. A stranger honking at him in the parking lot? Tap. A politician screaming on TV? Tap. A street preacher on the sidewalk? Tap. Annoyance becomes justification. Justification becomes habit. Habit becomes reflex. Within 2 weeks, Jason meets dozens of people, then dozens more. Friends who occasionally annoy him. Coworkers. Neighbors he does not like. Tap. People who disagree with him. People who interrupt him. People who look at him the wrong way while he is driving. His anxiety melts away. His sleep improves. His world becomes soft, manageable, quiet. He thinks he's finally found the solution. One morning, Jason wakes up, and something feels off. Not peaceful, not comforting, empty. The city outside is silent, not quieter, silenced. Dogs bark with no sound. A bus screeches to a stop, but Jason hears nothing. Two people argue by a crosswalk, their arms flailing, mouths moving, but the world is completely mute. He checks the app. The muted list scrolls endlessly, hundreds of faces he's pointed at. Some he doesn't even recognize. Jason tries unmuting someone. The icon doesn't change, and he tries again. Locked. He checks the hidden terms, now flickering on the screen. Once silenced, a sound cannot be restored. His stomach drops. He didn't just mute people, he erased them from his hearing permanently. He calls his mother. Her lips move. No sound. He muted her last week during an exhausting lecture about responsibility. He rushes to his girlfriend's apartment. She opens the door in tears. Her mouth moves fast, pleading, asking, begging. But Jason hears none of it. She reaches for him. He flinches back, panicked. He tries to explain, but all that comes out is breath. Silent breath. She stares at him, horrified. Not at what he said, but at the fact that she can't hear him at all. She shakes her head, steps back, closes the door. The latch clicks in perfect silence. Jason collapses to the floor, clawing at his ears. Desperate, Jason smashes his phone. but the silence stays. The cracked screen flickers its last message. Peace comes at a price. You chose silence. Now silence chooses you. Jason staggers to a shop window and catches his reflection. He sees his mouth moving. He's speaking, screaming, but he hears nothing. Inside the app's destroyed interface, deep in the list of names, he finds one last entry. Jason Carter, muted by you. His mind reels. He remembers the moment. Last night when he pointed the app at his reflection when he was upset and tapped it in frustration. He thought it did nothing. He was wrong. His own voice is gone. Forever. Now Jason wanders a silent world. One he carved with 1,000 tiny choices. A world without voices, without connection, without anything human left. He wanted peace. He wanted quiet. He wanted the noise to stop. It did. And now he would give anything to hear the sound of another person. Even the ones he hated. But silence is all he has left. Silence is the consequence of his choice. Silence is his prison. So ask yourself, if you had the power to mute anyone, would you use it? Would you choose to have silence around you without knowing what it costs, or would you endure the noise that reminds you you're not alone? Comment below. Would you press the mute button or accept the sound of chaos around you?